Hello everyone, today we are going to model a parametric door which is fully operable. As you can see, this door will be able to be opened at any angle that you want. So without further ado, let's get started. So we'll open our new family as usual. Today we are choosing the door, the metric one. Okay, let's wait until the Revit is opened. Okay, then let's change the units by simply clicking UN on your keyboard. Then for me, I will go with millimeters as usual. Okay, then for length, yes, I will choose millimeters as well for both length and distance. So as you can see, this family has some of the features already there, like the constraints, both width and height. Then for me, I'm going to model the interior frame of our door. So I will start by locking it on all sides of the reference plane. Okay, then I will add an offset of about 15 millimeters. Okay, again click the space button to allow the offset to be done inside. Okay, then I will simply adjust and trim these boundary lines to form a door frame, an interior one, because the exterior one is already built in with the family. Okay, then let's trim and extend the edges. Okay, then I will simply lock these boundary lines. Okay, lock them down at the bottom reference plane. Okay, then the next thing that I want to do is to lock the thickness of this frame by 15 millimeters. Okay, I will simply add the dimensions from the top constraints and lock it, the right constraint and the left constraint as well. Then after, I will lock the dimensions to have them unchangeable. That's why they are not parameters, they are just the locked dimensions. Then after, I will hit finish, then go to 3D view. Okay, as you can see, the frame is built outside and I want it inside, so I will adjust it and lock it in front and do the same at the back. Okay, then as you can see, the next thing I want to do is to join the exterior frame with this interior frame, and I'll do the same at the other side of the door as well. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is to add the panel, the one which will be opening and closing. Okay, so what I will do, I go to the reference level. First of all, let me flex the family and check if the dimensions and parameters are working correctly. So the width is going on point and the height is on point as well. As you can see, the height is changing, so let me change the width up to 220 centimeters, hit apply. Okay, so you can see that the parameters are on point. So the next thing that I want to do is to start by adding a reference level, a reference plane. So that reference plane is where we will be having our hinges and where our door will be attached and will be opened from or turning from. So let me call it the hinge so that I'll be able to differentiate it from the other reference planes. Then let me add the reference line as well, the one which is going to be our reference plane and the one where we are going to extrude our door panel from. So I'll draw it. Okay, then the next thing I want to do is to lock it to the vertical and horizontal reference planes. So okay, then use the tab key to shift until you lock it to the exact point of the reference line. So I'll do the same to this horizontal reference plane. Okay, then I use tab key again and lock it. Then let me lock this one. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to add the dimension so that this length will be in relation with the width of the opening, so that the door will be fitting exactly in the width of the opening that's provided. So how am I going to do this? So the thing is, I'm going to add a parameter. Okay, then let me call it panel length. So what's the problem here? The problem is I didn't check the value which will be offsetting, but I think it's 15 because we already did it during the extrusion. So but let me check again to be sure. Okay, yes, so since it is 15 offset on both sides, so I'll have the panel length, which will be the whole width of the opening minus 30 millimeters. That's from the 15 millimeters. That's the 15 millimeters from both sides of the frames. Okay, so what am I going to do here? The thing is, there's no need of locking these dimensions. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to create a parameter and let me have it as an instance, just to be able to edit it easily, not necessarily going to the edit type. So as long as I'll be clicking on the whole door after I finish it, I will be able to change the dimensions easily. So our parameter is the panel length. Okay, then we have to add that formula so that as long as you change the width of the opening, the whole panel length will be also changed. So I'm going to copy this parameter, which is called width. Okay, so the formula will be width minus 30 millimeters. Okay, so that's it for the length of our door. Okay, yeah, so the next thing is, I think, is the extrusion. Yes, so okay, as you can see, the width is changing with the panel length. That's what the formula does. When you add the formula, you are relating the parameters from one another. Okay, so I will go to the 3D view. Okay, Then I think our reference line is on the other side. So I have to create an extrusion but pick the plane. So I'll use the tab key to just navigate and pick a plane. Okay, the vertical one. Okay, so I will start the extrusion exactly right above this reference line. Okay, after I will have to lock both sides of this panel. Then for the height I will need to use the dimensions. Okay, I need to add another parameter so that I'll be able to relate the height of the panel, okay, to the height of the whole door. So the thing is, let me add the parameter, the height parameter, and call it, okay, we call it the panel height. Okay, so let me have it as an instance. There's no problem. I think you can use instance or type here, anything you want. So I need to add the formula as well, but here the formula will be the height minus 15 millimeters, because the offset is only at on the above side of the opening. There is no offset from the ground or the floor. Okay, as you can see, the height is already set. Okay, so what's next? I think I'm going to need to have the thickness of this panel, because this door panel will need to have thickness. So I use this extrusion end. Okay, I need to have the extrusion end by just associating the family parameters to this extrusion end. Okay, so add the parameter and let me call it the panel thickness, th for thickness. Of course you can have it as instance or type. Okay, then hit finish. So we are done with the extrusion of the door panel. So what's next? I think we need to go to the family types and change this panel thickness to just 20 millimeters. I think that will be okay for now. So the next thing we need to do, I think we need to assign materials, right? So but before assigning the materials, we need to add the angle, the opening angle, so that will be the closure parameter, or the parameter that will allow us to open and close this door of ours. So I just add the angular dimensions and then select the dimension. Okay, then associate the parameter and let me call this one opening angle. Okay, so I go with the opening angle. Okay, so you can have it as instance and type or type. Here it doesn't really matter. So the next thing is to add the materials. For me, I'm going with wood, but before you can check if the frames are well joined. So I think they are well joined. So what I need to do is to just add the materials. Okay, so the material here for me, I'm going with birch, with wood. Okay, let me type here where I'll be able to search the material. Okay, let me type wood. Okay, then I scroll down and choose birch, then upload it to be able to select it. Then for the panel, I want the frame and panel to have the same materials, so I'll just choose birch as is already imported in the project. Okay, so what's next here? The next thing is to check our parameters again to flex the whole family. So I go to the family type. Okay, then check for the angle. I think the open angle, that's the one we didn't check. Then let me go for 30 degrees, apply. So the constraints are not satisfied. As to me, there's an issue in associating this angular dimension. So what am I going to do? I will first need to hide this extruded panel. Yes, hide it, then remove or delete the associated parameter, then add it again. Okay, then you can unhide or bring back the extruded panel. Okay, again I will flex again the family and test the parameters if they are whether they are working. So how? I'll go back to the family types, then I'll check for 30 degrees, apply. Okay, so you can see that our door is able to open. So I'll go ahead and check for the width. Okay, then for the width we have an issue. This hinge reference plane is not associated with the whole frame. So what I need to do, I go back to the ref level. I will undo this step to bring back this reference plane, this hinge, the one which we called hinge, where our door is attached. You can see that it is now beyond the frame. So I bring it back. Okay, then lock it first of all, so that we'll fix this 15 millimeters in between. Okay, then we have to realign this whole panel. So align, you can choose align tool or simply use AL. Okay, you can simply use AL keys on your keyboard for alignment. Then align with this hinge panel, align it with this reference plane, this reference line that you already have. Okay, then lock it to be able to move the whole panel with the door frames. So I'll go and check again, bring back the door to the 1000 millimeters, which is 1 meter. Okay, so you can see that our door is well fixed. So what's next? I think we are done. We are done with the door, and thank you very much for being with us. If you like this content, please consider subscribing and sharing the content so that you'll be able to follow with us along the journey. So what you're going to do, we're going to add this door into the project, but we didn't create it first, so we have to just open a new project and just draw the line, the wall, then apply the door. Then you can, this is the usage of having the parameters as instance. You can just change them without going back to the edit type. So we didn't do that, so that you're going back to just change it to the instance. So as you can see, we are able to change the whole opening of the door. So you can see that in the 3D view. Thank you so much.